So on the test, I originally got something like a 72%, which really freaked me out just because I knew that there were some things that I had a hard time remembering, but I honestly didn't think that I was struggling that much to comprehend what we were talking about, just because a lot of the stuff that we went over was kind of recap from previous classes, so I was just kind of upset that I didn't retain the information like I think I should have. But after you went back and adjusted the grades, I ended up with an 80, so I kind of felt better about it after that. But for me, still with the amount of time I put in studying, I feel like I still should have done a lot better than I did. Honestly, I think that I freaked myself out by the number of questions that were on the test. I know we had a lot of time, but that amount of questions kind of throws me off sometimes, and I don't think it should have, because they weren't questions that necessarily needed a long time to think about. But I also get into my own head when questions aren't worded how I expect them to be. So I think I just need to better prepare myself for any type of question rather than ones that are just more straightforward or straight from the slides or the readings. I need to have a better understanding of it so I can actually apply it to more difficult questions, and so that I actually know that I'm retaining the information properly instead of just memorizing it. I actually have a full understanding of it. And then based on this first test, I will probably end up kind of changing the way that I'm preparing for these modules and these tests. Because at the beginning of the semester, I honestly didn't realize that we had reading assignments, so I ended up trying to read all of them right before our test and right before our module was due, and so I read all the information, but I didn't necessarily take it all in like I could have if I spread out the readings. So I'll try to stay more on top of that and read those prior to class so that I have a better understanding of it before we discuss, and so I can already have kind of questions formulated so I can ask you in there or wait to see if you answer those questions during your lecture. I also previously tried to pay attention in class. Most of my lecture classes kind of are based off of slides, so I kind of usually just listen to what the instructor's saying, and then outside of class, I go back over the PowerPoint and rewrite notes just so I'm refreshing outside of that class. But for this class, it seemed to confuse me more when I did that, just because I wasn't remembering the little side notes that you made on certain slides. So it was kind of harder to remember what little details you gave us to better help us understand it. So I'm going to attempt to take the notes in class, just so I have those little side notes, and then try to find a way of going back over the information outside of class, whether that be rewriting the notes again or kind of going over it again with maybe other people. But I usually do like asking questions. I like going to my instructor's office or open labs or whatever to get my questions answered, but my work schedule this semester is really crazy, and it doesn't really give me much time to actually go talk to my instructors face to face. So that's really my biggest challenge this semester, is I'm not really getting that one-on-one to be able to make sure I understand that information. But and then I don't really like asking questions through email, just because since it's not face to face, I often just get more confused, and it's kind of harder just to communicate back and forth with that. So I will try to start talking more to my peers about my questions. We have a lot of classes together, so we're all kind of in the same boat with things. So I feel like I should start asking them more questions and maybe start studying the material or working on parts of the module with them, just so that we're all kind of helping each other out, because one person may know something better, and then you might know something else better, and kind of just working together that way to get just an overall better understanding of all the information.